The command bunker of Forward Operating Base Echo 7 buzzed with tense activity as reports flooded in from across Kepler 442b. Lieutenant Copper stood at attention with the other Neodog officers, watching the holographic display show red markers spreading across the planet's surface like a disease. Alien forces have made planetfall in 17 locations, Colonel Walter announced grimly to the assembled human and Neodog commanders. Initial estimates put their numbers at over 50,000, with more ships arriving every hour. The base around them housed nearly 800 personnel, 312 Neodogs of the 47th Frontier Battalion alongside their human support staff. They'd been on Kepler 442b for 8 months, systematically pacifying the hostile wildlife and establishing the infrastructure needed for large-scale colonization. The planet was supposed to be humanity's crown jewel in this sector, a garden world perfect for expansion. "Sir?" Major Damascus, the human operations officer, raised his hand. "What are our reinforcement options?" Walter's face was stone. "There are none. Fleet Command has made the decision to implement Protocol 7. A chill ran through the room. Protocol 7 was retreat. Total evacuation of all assets deemed recoverable. Sergeant Fang, Copper's second-in-command, growled low in her throat. "Sir, what constitutes recoverable assets?" The silence that followed was deafening. "All human personnel are to be evacuated immediately," Walter finally said, his voice carefully neutral. "Essential equipment and data will be extracted. Non-essential assets," he paused, unable to meet the Neodog's eyes, "are to be left in place to delay enemy advance." The words hit like a physical blow. 312 enhanced soldiers, veterans of humanity's expansion into the stars, classified as non-essential. "Sir," Copper found his voice, "the 47th has been instrumental in securing this planet. We've eliminated the hostile megafauna, established safe zones, prepared landing sites." "Your service has been exemplary, Lieutenant," Walter cut him off, "but the decision has been made at the highest levels. The transport capacity simply isn't sufficient for full evacuation." Captain Sweetie, leader of the base's Alpha Company, stepped forward. "Colonel, with respect, my pack alone could fit on a single transport. We're not talking about massive cargo here." Walter's jaw tightened. "The orders are clear. Human personnel only. The Neodogs will remain to buy time for the evacuation." "How much time?" Fang asked quietly. 72 hours, minimum. Longer if possible." The room erupted in protests from both human and Neodog officers, but Walter raised his hand for silence. "The decision is final. Human personnel will begin evacuation in 6 hours. All Neodogs will remain at their posts and continue pacification operations until relieved." As the briefing dissolved into chaos, Copper caught fragments of heated arguments between human officers. Some were clearly outraged by the abandonment order, while others seemed resigned to following commands from above. "This is insane!" Lieutenant Rodriguez, one of the human platoon leaders, grabbed Copper's arm. "I won't leave you here to die." "You'll follow orders, Lieutenant." Walter's voice cut across the room. "All of you will. This comes from Fleet Command and it is not open for debate." 6 hours later, Copper stood in the landing bay, watching the first wave of transports lift off. His enhanced hearing picked up fragments of conversation from the departing humans, some apologetic, some ashamed, others coldly professional. Sergeant Fang approached, her jaw set in grim determination. "All human personnel have been evacuated, sir. 312 Neodogs remain operational." Around them, the massive base felt suddenly empty, despite the large Neodog presence. The humans had only made up a quarter of their forces, but they'd handled logistics, communications, and liaison duties that would now fall to the Neodogs themselves. "What are your orders, Lieutenant?" Captain Sweetie asked, arriving with the other company commanders. Copper looked around at his fellow officers. Sweeney from Alpha Company, Captain Doug from Bravo, Captain Tracker from Charlie, Captain Luna from Delta. Each commanded between 60 and 80 Neodogs, all veterans of the pacification campaign. Ours. Orders, Copper said firmly, are to hold this position and delay enemy advance. We continue the mission. The first sign something was wrong came 18 hours after the evacuation. Copper was reviewing defensive positions when Private Dash came running from the water treatment facility, his nose twitching with alarm. "Sir," Dash panted, "something's wrong with the water supply. There's a scent, chemical, artificial. It wasn't there yesterday." Copper followed him to the facility where several other Neodogs had gathered, all looking disturbed. The scent hit him immediately. Sharp, medicinal, wrong. "When did this start?" he asked. "About an hour ago," Corporal Bramble reported. "Came on gradually, but it's getting stronger." "Could be a malfunction in the purification system," Doug suggested, her technical background making her the logical choice to investigate. "I'll run a full diagnostic." But even as she worked, Copper felt uneasy. The timing seemed too convenient. Humans evacuate, then mysterious chemicals appear in their water supply. "Sir," Tracker approached, his enhanced nose the most sensitive in the battalion, "I'm picking up traces of this same compound in the main base ventilation system. It's not just the water." The realization hit like ice water. They poisoned us. "What?" Fang spun around, her eyes blazing. "The evacuation wasn't about transport capacity," Copper said grimly. "It was about timing. Get the humans out, then release whatever this is into our systems." Doug's diagnostic finally came through, confirming their worst fears. "It's a synthetic compound designed to interact with Neodog neural chemistry. I can't identify the specific effects, but it's definitely targeted at our enhanced physiology." "How long have we been exposed?" Sweetie asked. "Unknown," Doug replied. "Could be minutes, could be hours. The compound is odorless until it reaches certain concentrations." Around the base, other Neodogs were beginning to notice the strange scent. Word spread quickly through the companies, and Copper found himself addressing increasingly worried soldiers. "We don't know what this chemical does," he announced to the assembled battalion, "but we know who deployed it and why. Our own command has decided we're expendable, so we prove them wrong." "Sir," Captain Luna spoke up, "what if this compound is designed to change us somehow?" "Then we deal with whatever comes," Copper replied. "Together, we're soldiers of the 47th Frontier Battalion, and we don't abandon our posts." The first alien probe arrived at dawn, 36 hours after the chemical exposure began. Copper watched it through his rifle scope, noting its cautious scanning patterns. But what disturbed him more was the behavior of some of his own troops. Private Grit from Charlie Company had been found that morning wandering the perimeter without his weapon, responding slowly to direct orders. Corporal Branch from Delta Company had snapped at a packmate during breakfast, something that would have been unthinkable before. "The chemicals affecting our cognitive functions," Doug reported grimly. "I'm seeing decreased response times, increased aggression, reduced language processing. It's subtle now, but getting worse," Copper finished. "How long until we're no longer effective soldiers?" "At current progression rates, maybe 48 hours until we lose tactical cohesion. 72 hours until—" She couldn't finish. "Until we're animals," Fang said bluntly. Copper's comm unit crackled with reports from across the base. Charlie Company had lost contact with Mining Complex Delta, their sister battalion's position. Bravo Company reported strange howling sounds from the orbital defense platform where Echo Battalion had been stationed. "Sir," Tracker's voice was tight with dread. "I'm picking up movement from the mining complex. Multiple contacts moving this way." The shapes that appeared on their sensors moved wrong, too fast, too aggressive, without the disciplined formation of Neodog military units. "Those are our brothers," Sweetie realized watching the tactical display. "But they're not acting like soldiers anymore." The first of the affected Neodogs arrived at sunset, 8 members of Charlie Battalion's reconnaissance unit. Copper recognized them: Sergeant Flint, Corporals Pawson and Thorne, Privates Oak, Peaches, Stone, Brownie, and Frost. Elite scouts who had mapped every dangerous predator on the planet. Now they moved like predators themselves, their enhanced musculature rippling under fur that had grown wild and unkempt. Their eyes held no recognition, no trace of the intelligence that had once made them elite soldiers. "Sir?" Fang whispered, her voice breaking. "They don't know us." Flint, who had served under Copper for 3 years, looked directly at him and snarled, lips pulling back from enhanced canines that were meant for communication, not intimidation. "Orders, sir?" Sweetie asked quietly, his weapon trained on the approaching ferals. Copper's throat felt dry. This was what the chemical did. It stripped away everything that made them more than animals. The humans had turned their most loyal soldiers into the monsters they'd always feared. Neok could become. "They're no longer our brothers," he said finally. "They're casualties of human betrayal. We honor them by ending their suffering." The firefight was brief and brutal. Enhanced reflexes met enhanced reflexes, but discipline and retained intelligence gave Copper's forces the edge. When it was over, 8 former comrades lay still in the base's dust. "How many more?" Doug asked, tears streaming down her muzzle. "All of them," Copper replied grimly. "Every Neodog unit on the planet will eventually succumb. Which means we're about to fight a war on 3 fronts: the aliens, our own devolved brothers, and time itself." Private Dash suddenly perked up from his position at the sensor station. "Sir, alien forces are moving, 3 massive columns converging on our position." Copper looked around at his remaining battalion, 300 soldiers facing an impossible situation. Abandoned by their creators, hunted by their enemies, slowly losing their minds to chemical warfare, and now forced to kill their own kind. But as he watched his officers stand ready, as he saw the determination in their eyes despite everything they faced, a plan began forming in his tactical mind. "You know what?" he growled, checking his weapon. "I'm tired of being what they expect us to be. They want us to be monsters? Fine. Let's show them what monsters can accomplish when they work together." "Sir?" Sweetie asked. "We're going to do something no one expects," Copper said, his voice carrying the authority that had kept them alive this long. "We're going to turn their betrayal into our weapon. Tracker, how many feral packs are between us and the alien landing zones?" "Multiple groups, sir. I estimate over 1,000 affected Neodogs scattered across the planet." "And the aliens won't engage while pharaohs are in the area?" They seem to be avoiding direct contact, yes, sir." "Then we're going to give them the fight of their lives. We're going to herd our fallen brothers toward the alien positions, and while they tear each other apart, we're going to finish what we started, securing this planet for humanity." The plan was audacious beyond belief, but as Copper looked at his 300 remaining soldiers, he knew they could do it. They were the 47th Frontier Battalion, and they had never failed a mission. They weren't about to start now. Moving through the base's outer perimeter at night, advance teams from all 4 companies began the delicate process of locating and influencing the scattered feral packs. The chemical had affected different units at different rates. Some were completely gone, others still retained fragments of tactical thinking. "Remember," Copper whispered over their tactical comm to Alpha Company as they approached a group of 30 ferals near the communications array, "we're not their enemies. We're just another scent in the wind." Using smoke grenades with carefully crafted pheromone markers, they began influencing the ferals' movement. Enhanced Neodogs retained their incredible sense of smell even after cognitive breakdown. They just lost the ability to interpret complex information from those scents. The process was heartbreaking. Copper watched as Sergeant Thunder from Delta Battalion, a Neodog who had saved his life twice during the pacification campaign, followed the artificial scent trail like a bloodhound, his enhanced intelligence reduced to base hunting instincts. "Contact from Bravo Company," Doug's voice came through the comm. "They've located Echo Battalion survivors, 67 ferals, moving as a hunting pack." "Charlie Company here," Tracker reported. "Found what's left of the orbital platform garrison. They're hunting the local wildlife, successfully." The truly horrifying thing was how effective the feral Neodogs remained at their core function. They were still apex predators with enhanced strength, speed, and senses. They'd simply lost everything that made them soldiers and become pure killing machines. Over the next 6 hours, using coordinated herding tactics across all 4 companies, they gradually merged 12 separate feral packs into 3 massive hunting groups totaling nearly 800 enhanced predators. "Sir," Luna reported as dawn broke, "all 3 alien columns have stopped their advance. They're detecting the feral movements." "Perfect," Copper replied grimly. "Now we show them what Earth's children can do when properly motivated." The alien survey facility sat on a plateau overlooking the main base, its biomechanical architecture gleaming in the morning light. The aliens had chosen their position well. Excellent visibility, multiple defensive positions, overlapping fields of fire. They hadn't counted on facing 800 feral Neodog. Copper's remaining battalion took positions on ridges surrounding the plateau as the first feral pack reached the base of the alien facility. The aliens' sensors detected the approaching threat, and their defensive systems came online with deadly efficiency. But the ferals didn't attack like soldiers. They attacked like the enhanced predators they'd become, flowing over obstacles, ignoring casualties, using their incredible speed and strength to overwhelm prepared positions. What followed was carnage on an unprecedented scale. The aliens' energy weapons, designed for fighting disciplined military units, were useless against enemies that felt no fear and knew no tactics beyond kill and consume. Their biomechanical constructs, optimized for conventional warfare, couldn't adapt to opponents who moved like liquid death. "Sir," Doug said quietly as they watched the battle rage below, "this is what they turned our brothers into." "I know," Copper replied, his voice heavy with grief and rage. "But look at them fight. Even like this, they're still magnificent." The battle raged for 4 hours. When it was over, the alien facility was silent except for the wind whistling through shattered biomechanical structures. The feral packs had torn through 3 alien columns with devastating efficiency, but fewer than 200 of them remained, and those were wounded. "Now?" Sweetie asked. "Now we finish the job," Copper said. "For them, for us, for every world humanity will ever claim among the stars." The remaining aliens had barricaded themselves in the facility's central spire, a massive biomechanical tower that pulsed with alien technology. Copper's battalion approached through the wreckage, their weapons ready, their minds still clear despite the chemical working through their systems. The surviving ferals scattered as they approached, recognizing some primitive threat in the organized movement of the still disciplined soldiers. They disappeared into the ruins, following instincts that would keep them alive in this harsh world. "Motion sensors show 43 hostiles in the spire," Tracker reported. "They're cornered, but they'll fight hard." "Good," Copper growled. "I want them to know they're facing Earth's finest." The assault on the spire was everything their training had prepared them for. 300 Neodogs moved with precision and fury, each protecting their packmates, each fighting not just for survival but for honor, for their fallen brothers, for the right to prove that loyalty and intelligence couldn't be destroyed by human treachery or alien aggression. When the last alien fell, Copper's battalion stood victorious in the spire's command center. Around them, alien technology hummed with incomprehensible purpose. "Doug," Copper ordered, "access their communications. I want to send a message." It took 2 hours, but Doug's technical skills finally cracked the alien communication system. The message went out on all frequencies, in multiple languages, to every ship in the system. "This is Lieutenant Copper of the 47th Frontier Battalion, Earth Defense Force. Kepler 442b has been secured, all alien forces eliminated, planet pacified and ready for colonization." The response came within minutes. A human voice, shocked and disbelieving. "Copper? Is that really you? Our sensors showed complete tactical failure. The Neodog units were supposed to be..." "Supposed to be what, Control?" Copper asked coldly. "Devolved? Turned into animals? Yeah, we found your little surprise in the water and air systems." Silence on the channel. "You want to know what happened here?" Copper continued. "We did our job. We protected this planet, just like we swore to do. We fought aliens, we fought the monsters you tried to turn us into, and we won. Kepler 442b is secure for colonization." Another voice cut in. Older, more authoritative. "This is Admiral White. Lieutenant, what's your current status?" 247 operational personnel, sir. Ammunition low, morale high. Planets secured and ready for your return. And the other Neodog units? Erupt casualties of chemical warfare, sir. They died as soldiers, even after your command tried to turn them into beasts. A long pause. "Lieutenant, we're sending a rescue mission. ETA 12 hours. "No need, sir. We've got it handled." The rescue ships arrived to find Copper's pack waiting calmly in the base's landing bay. Around them, the facility showed signs of fierce fighting, but was fundamentally intact. The alien threat had been eliminated, the planetary pacification completed, Kepler 442b ready for its intended colonization. Admiral White himself was on the lead ship, his face grim as he surveyed the aftermath. "Lieutenant," he said formally, "your mission report." "Simple, sir," Copper replied, standing at attention with his remaining soldiers beside him. "Enemy contacted and destroyed. Mission accomplished. Planet secured for immediate colonization." "And the chemical agent?" "Neutralized, along with those responsible for deploying it," Copper said coldly. "We've prepared a full report on the biological warfare attack against Neodog personnel." The Admiral's face paled. "Lieutenant, I want you to know that the deployment of that agent was not authorized at the highest levels." "With respect, sir," Copper interrupted, "I don't care who authorized it. What I care about is that it happened, and that it won't happen again." Behind the Admiral, Copper could see other officers and camera crews recording everything. This wasn't just a rescue mission. It was damage control. "The important thing," the Admiral continued carefully, "is that the mission was successful. The planet is secured, the threat eliminated. You and your battalion have performed admirably under impossible circumstances." "Yes, sir, we did our duty. And now I think you've earned some rest. Full medical evaluation, debriefing, and then rotation back." "Sir," Copper cut in, "if it's all the same to you, we'd like to stay here." "Stay? Lieutenant, this is a frontier world. Dangerous. Isolated." Copper looked around at his remaining soldiers. Fang with her fierce loyalty, Tracker with his enhanced senses, Doug with her technical brilliance, Sweetie with his tactical genius. 247 of them, battered but unbroken. "Sir," he said quietly, "someone needs to guard this place. Make sure the colonists are protected when they arrive. Make sure it doesn't happen again. And frankly, after what we've been through, we don't trust anyone else to do the job right." The Admiral opened his mouth to object, then seemed to think better of it. Behind him, the camera crews were still recording. "Very well, Lieutenant. The 47th Frontier Battalion will remain on station as permanent garrison for the upcoming colonization effort. Full supply and support authorization approved. As the ships departed, leaving fresh supplies and renewed respect, Copper's pack stood watching from the landing bay. "Think they learned anything?" Doug asked. "They learned that you can abandon us, betray us, try to turn us into monsters," Copper replied, "but you can't break us, and you definitely can't stop us from doing our job." Bang's eyes scanned the horizon. "Movement to the south. Looks like some of the surviving pharaohs are forming new packs." "Then we'd better get to work," Copper said. "This world needs protecting for the colonists who will come, and there are still brothers out there who need our help." As they walked back toward the base, Doug looked up at the alien stars. Above Kepler 442b. "You know what the funny thing is," she said. "They tried to make us into monsters, but all they did was prove we're exactly what we've always been." "What's that?" Clarke asked. "Humanity's best friends, even when humanity doesn't deserve us." The pack moved together into the base, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. They had survived abandonment, betrayal, and a war on 3 fronts. Soon human colonists would arrive to claim this world, and they would find it protected by the very soldiers humanity had tried to throw away. They were the last pack standing, and they would never fall. Many thanks to my channel members and Pathfinders. You all make these videos possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Video shares, memberships, and super thanks help the channel grow as well, so feel free to partner with this channel in that way as we grow. With that all said, thank you again for listening to the story, and thank you for your time. On the left side of your screen are some videos I think you might be interested in. I hope to see you in the next one.